Kal Kadosh, I wanted to share with you a beautiful Dvar Torah that I saw on Parashat Kedoshim. Remember that this Shabbat we have Acharemot and Kedoshim. And a lot of the different concepts of Parashat Kedoshim is going to be shayach to every single human being. It says in the Parashat, Vaydaber Hashem u'Moshe lemor, Hashem speaks to Moshe saying, Daber al kol adat Bnei Yisrael, speak to all the congregation of Israel, V'amarta alehem, and you're going to tell them, Kedoshim to you, you should be holy. Ki kadosh ani Hashem Elokechem, because I am Hashem your God, holy. The Al Shicha Kadosh comes and he asks, why is it that Kadosh Baruch Hu commands Moshe Rabbeinu that he grabs all of Bnei Yisrael to command them, whether it's going to be Shmirat Shabbat, Davka, everyone together? So the rabbis say that when was Parashat Vayakel? Vayakel was after the Chet HaEgel. And since after the Chet HaEgel was done Barabim, so therefore he commanded on the Shabbat that it had to be an atonement for the sin of the golden calf for the Chet HaEgel. It also had to be Barabim, had to be in the public, everybody together, that everyone should see what's going on. So why is it that HaKadosh Baruch Hu commanded Moshe Rabbeinu that he should say, when we're talking about the mitzvah of Kedoshim to you, why is it Davka everyone together? The same thing. Daber kol bnei Yisrael Kedoshim to you. So he says Al Shicha Kadosh, that if Moshe Rabbeinu would not teach it in one shot to the entire Jewish nation, but rather to one group to another group, then what would happen is every single person would say, listen, you have to be holy. It's not for me. It's for him. It's for the other group. It's for the other person. It's for the tzaddikim of the generation, but not for a simple Jew. I'm a simple Jew. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mitkaven. And that's why it was specifically given to everybody together. And he told them, Kedoshim to you in plural, to say every single Jew should become holy. Every Jew is supposed to do that. And that's why Moshe Rabbeinu brought all the Jews together. And we actually understand now what's brought down in Mesilat Yesharim Perek Dalet. The Mesilat Yesharim Ramchal, Rabbi Moshe Chaim Lusato, comes and he says, Yesh me'apta'im, they're fools. That they want to relieve themselves. And they say, why are we coming and doing so much in Chassidut and Prishut and all these things that, we have to segregate ourselves and we have to distance ourselves? Listen, we're not going to be a Rasha. All we need is that we're not going to be wicked people, that we're not going to go to Geinam. But we're not going to push ourselves to go to Gan Eden, right? Especially to go inside. Right? Even if we don't get such a big portion, we'll get a little portion. That's fine. That's good for us. And that's already enough for us. But he comes and he says, Imagine right now you go to a game. You go to one of these games. Right? And you're going to come and you're going to take binoculars. Because you're in the nosebleed section up there in the third row all the way at the top. And you could hardly even see the players. If you don't see actually the scoreboard and the screens, you can't see anybody. They look like little ants. And then what happens? You come and you take your binoculars, and all of a sudden you see on the screen, hey, my friend's on the screen. But look, he's got side seats. He's got right beside the court. What's going on over here? You take your binoculars and you start looking until you see him. You say, hey, how did you get those seats? I paid $200 or $300 or $400. The amount that they spend. Yeah. It's been a fortune to get these things. What are you doing down there? He comes and he says, you have to have the connections. You have to have the big bucks. What do you want? So he comes to Ramchal and he says, if right now in this world, a person would not be able to withstand the embarrassment and the way that it is, then why is it that my friend has better seats than I do? And this is an olam cholef that it goes. Well, you see, for one night. Imagine what it is. How much your blood won't be bubbling and boiling. And the fact for the rest of eternity in Gan Eden, he's got a good seat and you've got the lower class. He's got first class, business class ticket, and you got not even the economy. You've got the flex, the lowest of the lowest. Well, you're going to do that? For sure not. Everything that a person does, he wants to pick himself up. So imagine what it is. If it's going to be so difficult for them, so says the Ramchal, obviously it's going to be difficult for them. So you see from here that the savlanut, right, that a person is going to come and to permit for themselves to say, listen, I don't have to work much, or I don't have to do much. It's not going to work, because at the end we're going to suffer. And that's why Shlomo Melech Alav Shalom said in Kohelet, in Perek Tet, Kol asher timsa yadcha la'asot b'kochcha, Aseh. Anything that you're able to do it. He says, because where you're going, you're not going to understand what's going over there. You're not going to have the koach to come and start doing extra things over there. So you went and you have a chance to do mitzvah. Run to do it. Do everything that you can. And this is the sodo of what it is, the secret of what it is. There was once Magid Shiur in Ashdod that he went and he said as follows. He started giving a shiur, right? That there's like 20 older people, right? And he says it's very difficult to especially of older people to get a shiur, and it's a shiur every single day, and it's fixed. And there's another shiur of Daf Yomi, and there's a spekim, and this, and they start, and they do difficult gimarot and everything. So he went and he said, how did he start? He says at the beginning, right? I started trying, how much, I thought, how much am I going to get it? A minyan, half of a minyan, right? But he never thought of what he was going to get today. He says he started with one Yehudi Yakar Mevugar, right? And he says, and not only that, he wasn't even 100% there. Yeah. And what happened was he says that it could be that Bezrat Hashem, he'll get to half of a minyan or a minyan. And that's what it was. Not 1 month, not 2 months, not 1 year, 2 years, 3 years straight. Until Hashem decided that since he was Omed Ben Isayon, and he got, it was always, he's going to start being Mizaket Arabim. He's going to come and start giving the zechut to all these people that you won't even understand how many people are going to get it. So he says, so what does this actually come and to teach you? If you want to come and you want to actually be Mizaket Arabim, you have to know that lechol davar et v'zaman. At every single thing, there's a time for it. And just like it's brought down in the Midrash, lechol zman va'et, lechol chefetz. Right? Everything. There was a time when Adam and Ishon came into Gan Eden. There was a time when he had to go out of it. There was a time when Noach had to go into the Teva. There was a time that Noach had to come out of the Teva. There was a time that Moshe Avraham Avinu was given to do the Brit Milah. There was a time that he had to give it to the children. Every single thing has its time. And therefore, it's so important for us to remember this, because if not, then a person doesn't understand what's happening. Right? V'shum davar. Right? And nothing. Lo lech bekoach doesn't go with straight. You can't force something into it, right? So he says v'chol atchalot kashot, and all the they're difficult. Mikam va'elach, from then onwards, yerav lachem. It's going to be very, very tasty. It's going to be very sweet, just like Rashi says al pasuk. Ve'atayim shamua tishmiu bekoli ushmartem ebriti v'timni segula mikol amim. Rashi says im tikablu alechem yerav alechem. If you are going to accept it upon yourselves, it's going to become sweet to you. From then on, why? Because at the beginning, all things at the beginning are difficult. And that is the derech of the Torah. So he says, Kol atchalot kashot. It's going to change. And therefore, he said, Son comes and he brings the Seder Hayom. Listen to this. Mashlu mashal lazeh lebab melachim. There's a beautiful parable that we wanted to bring down to do the bab melachim. That she's inside of this tower. And nobody in the house, nobody could actually come to get to her. And even Petach Migdal, you can't even find the entrance to this tower. So imagine you have this princess in this tower, and nobody could get it. And unless you're going to look and look and look and nothing. And then afterwards, you have to actually find the keys and to open with shop. And then you have to go to one place and then to another place and to another place. Right? So he comes and he says, he didn't want to give his daughter, not because of wealth, not because of handsome, not because of genealogy, lineage, and not because of anything. But if somebody really wants to actually go and get her, he's going to come and he's going to get her. So therefore he comes and he says, right? So he comes and he tells everybody, listen, yeah, they're going to go. And so everyone comes to the tower. They want to go. They want to see who this princess is. And they want to, so they come and they start singing and singing and singing. Maybe she's going to come and she's going to look what's going on and see what's going on, right? And what happens is that, right? He comes and he wants to see the Bat Melech. Now she's not going to move from her place. So since the guy comes and he sees, or these people come and they see, right, that it's going to be, so they're going to go away. Right? Imagine they're coming out, they're coming singing there. They thought at least she would come from the window, see what's going on. They come to see her at least, and then make a decision, not decision. No. She didn't do that. So what happens is that there was somebody came and he said, listen, that she's an incredible person. So he comes and he says, you know what? I'm going to be there the entire time. And I'm going to just sing and sing and sing and sing. And doesn't matter. Yeah, it's not going to make any difference, right? So he comes and he says, right, that what? You let us remember. So they come and they're just doing it, doing it. And what happens? He was there 40 days and 40 nights until finally he saw whether it's going to be some entrance, some window where he can at least see her, right? And if he can see her, at least to talk to her, or at least something, to do something with her. Until finally he went and he found one little tiny hole, right? It was like a window. So he starts cutting it out. And they started, all of a sudden he starts screaming, right? And he starts calling to the Bat Melech, Bekol Gadol, please, I want to see you, right? When can I come? This and that. So why? Because a person comes and he finds that entrance. From there, he's able to go into it. And he's able to go inside of where exactly is he supposed to be going. So he comes and he says, so all of a sudden, Birot Bat HaMelech, that the person wants so much and how difficult the guy is trying everything. So he comes and he says, you know what? So he comes out and they say, look, right? They come, they give the maftechot. He comes, he's able to go in. He gives him the wife. He gives him the princess. And now the king is so happy that, why? He sees that you really wanted her. He didn't want somebody that's just, I want her for the money. I want her for the this. I want her for the that. No. You really want her. Let's test you. I want to see how much you really want her. And that, in essence, is what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is coming to give us. That's Ikarei Adat V'Sodot. That if a person wants to come and they want to learn Torah, or Hashem wants to see, do you really want to learn Torah? Do you really want to be involved? Do you really want to be all these things? And that's why it's so important for us just to remember all these things. Be'ezrat Hashem, I just hope that we'll be able to internalize this message, to realize that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes and he's speaking to every single one of us. And he comes and he tells every single Kedoshim to you, and every one of you, you can become holy. Don't think that it's only for those guys, or for those tzaddikim, or for all those things. I'll finish off with something beautiful that I read. We were preparing something for tefillah. And it's written, right? You should never be a rasha in front of yourself. What does that mean, don't be a rasha in front of yourself? You know what the explanation means? The explanation is that some people think, who are the ones that could pray? It's so difficult to pray with kavanah and to pray properly. Who are the only ones that could pray? You know who could pray? Big rebbes, these big tzaddikim, these big people. You and me, well, okay, so I'm going to come, I'll pray, but that's it. He says, no. Al ti rasha bifnei atzmecha. You're not believing in yourself. Don't be a rasha in your own eyes. Why? We always say about the Kadosh Baruch Hu in the middle of Shomea Tefillah, in the Amidah, Ki ata Shomea Tefilat Kol Peh. Hashem, you come and you listen to the prayer of every single person that comes and prays. All you have to do is pray. Don't ever give up hope. No, that's not for me. It's for them. No. It's you and me and him. And every single person has to come and they have to pray. And they pray with all their hearts. And they pray with everything that they can. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu will always listen. But the essence that we're supposed to do is that we always have to pay attention to our tefillot and what we're doing. And never, don't put ourselves down. We could reach great heights. Kedoshim to you is on every single one of us. B'ezrat Hashem, Shabbat Shalom.